Well, despite all the doom and gloom on the alternative media, things could actually be worse. You know, we talked about Jeb Bush versus possibly Jeb Bush versus Hillary Clinton. How about Sarah Palin against Hillary Clinton? That would be the real freaking, oh my God, what are we going to do then? Well, it don't matter because I never vote. I'm not voting for Republicans or Democrats anyway. But you notice what's been happening lately. I don't know if you do notice what's happening lately. Things are changing, almost like the tail fins on the cars. You know, actually, back in the 50s, a lot of times people think, well, what is this, a 60? I don't know, what is this, 59? I think it's a 59, maybe. 59 or 60. I think it's 59. But anyway, you know, back in the day in the 50s, everybody thinks it was so great. But, you know, actually, there was a couple of severe recessions in the 50s. You know, everybody looks back at the deja vu and they say, oh, yeah, you know, the 50s was a glorious time. Actually, if you look at car sales, you know, a good indication that 58s, like if you look at the 58 Chevys, there's not too many of them around. Why? Because there was a severe recession in 58. I think there was something else in the early 50s too, maybe. I'm not sure. But 58, there was a severe recession. So, you know, like when you're looking back at things, everything looks so freaking great. But, you know, hey, man, we've always had problems, right? Now, the thing is that's coming up is consumer confidence is actually very bad. You know, they've been showing it's like extremely, actually, you know, it's like taking a nosedive. I don't know why it's taking a nosedive because, you know, I'm basically a cautious person at any time anyway. You know, I will not spend like, say, I don't know what the word means, extra money. What does that mean? Extra money, huh? Extra money, just freaking spend it, huh? Yeah, right. I don't think like that, you know? I'm pretty frugal all the way around. Well, I'm practical. You know, that's the way it is. But, you know, what goes on, you know, in regular consumer America, they pretty much, you know, spend everything to the hilt and they're, you know, they're in hock up to the eyeballs and all this kind of stuff. Nobody's got savings. But the consumer index, the consumer confidence index is way down. And what does that mean? What does that mean? You know, they don't want to buy new fancy goods like these motorcycles here, right? You know, they're not gonna opt for some new technology like, you know, the two women over here have. They're not going to be buying. Actually, the gross GDP of the economy is 68% of the economy is actually you know, consumer internal spending. You know, that's one thing. You know, they talk about China being so like strong right now, but they really don't have an internal economy. You know, they're going to come on stronger. I think China will come on much, much stronger after they get rid of the Communist Party, if that can ever happen. I don't know. You know, what we know what's going on is the elite support that Communist Party, you know, the Western elite, and they want that deal over here too, you know. So anyway, well, you know, but, you know, consumer confidence is dropping, so maybe they're going to be more frugal. They're not going to be riding the motorcycle, the Triumph as much. They're going to be riding a horse, right? You know, which is probably not cheaper anyway unless you have it eat on somebody else's lawn, right? But, you know, what's going on right now, though, you got Saudi is doing a land attack on Yemen, right? And that's really why oil, first time it went over $60. You know, this is one thing I've been harping on. You know, we saw a little spike in oil one time recently when Saudi bombed the Shiite-backed rebels or the Iranian-backed rebels down there in Yemen. Now they're doing a land battle or something. They did some kind of land invasion. Not like major, but pretty strong, you know. Actually, the USA is probably going to get involved again. But, you know, considering the way the youth is, I don't know. Maybe it's going to be old-timers flying the planes because you know, it seems like, you know, everybody's listening to alternative media today. You know, it's like, the U.S. is bad. Yeah, right. Yeah, come on, man. You know, the reality of the situation is every other country would do the same thing as the U.S. does if they had the power, except 100 times worse. That's really what the deal is. And if you really dig into what's going on, man, you know, I mean, I realize what's going on, man. You know, people haven't been around in other parts of the world. They haven't seen how things are in other parts of the country, in the other countries. So, you know, we look back, and actually, you know, a lot of stuff we got going on here in the United States is you know, a lot of our American traditions are very, you know, we do have American traditions. I mean, a lot of people are like, that's why I'm getting fed up with the alternative media, man. I'm thinking they're getting paid by the freaking Illuminati. I think they're getting paid by the Russians. I think they're getting paid by, I don't know what. But, you know, them constantly down, you know, and I'm not like a flag waver type person. You know what I mean? It's like, I realize, you know, because you know what the deal is? A lot of people haven't been to other countries. I mean, yeah, maybe things look great on the surface, but they haven't dealt with the authorities in other countries, man. The authorities in other countries they make some of the people over here in the United States look like pussycats, man. You know, we say, oh, police brutality. And police brutality over in other countries is a freaking norm. So, like, a lot of things are, I mean, hey, man, you got to be a revolutionary. You got to think on your own. We're far more independent. You look at China, man. They'll put out a movie. They'll put out a movie like, the revolutionary guy is backing the regime. Yeah, right. Yeah, we don't do that shit over here, man. We never back the regime. As a matter of fact, any rule they put up is some rule that we're going to bust. It's exactly what it is. But yes, there's been a lot of predictions about the markets turning down, and some of the stuff is actually happening. It's like eventually this is going to happen. Like, let me put it this way: when it happens fast. It kind of starts tumbling a little bit, then it goes up, but when it really takes a nosedive, it can happen in a day or 2 days. And then maybe you can have a little bit of a bounce, then another hard crash again. Or maybe it could be a hard crash next year. But I think it's going to really come down a lot this year. Actually, if the West, the elite got a precarious situation because, us cats, we can really tear them down. This is like the elite, we're the cats. We jump on these suckers, man. We all gang up on them, man. They got a problem. It's like when we got this negative attitude and, we're glued to the boob tube about, Alex Jones with his... I don't like that guy, man. A lot of people get mad at me for that shit. But it's not that I don't like him. I think he's working for the bad guys, man. I think a lot of the major freaking alternative media is working for the bad guys. Even I really suspect Jeff Rentz, though, because, I know he puts out a lot calmer delivery method, but I never seen him say anything bad about the Chinese communists, Putin's gang, They're all good, Get the hell out of here. Something wrong there, man. So, anyway, Brother Nathaniel, oh, yeah. I'm going to comment on that deal with the Brother Nathaniel deal again, because I can't see how to, I know he tells you he used to be Jewish, but you know what? I don't think, you don't know what the hell this guy's background is. I don't know what the hell he is. Maybe he was, maybe he wasn't, but it's a little bit like, I don't know what the hell he's doing out there in a clown suit, but, you got to watch the alternative media, because, one of the things I told you about is, just now, consumer confidence, just having a negative attitude could destroy the economy, even if it's going good. If you think the shit's going bad, it's going to go bad. And I'll give you a little story, But us cats, we can tear up the elite, man. We got more numbers than the big guys, See these cats jumping over the elite guy. That's why I don't get too many of them. I got 3. I can handle those guys. Anyway. But, the world is not like the way the major media is painting it, and also the alternative media is painting it. It's almost like, looking at this telephone pole and they're telling you it's straight up and down, man. It's not. They're lying. They're blowing smoke up your kazoos left and right. And I think the left and the right are controlled by the big guys, including the alternative media, right? I'm not controlled, I'm like pro-USA because I realize, what we got in the basis of things, the real basics, like hot blondes, is like we got the Constitution and we got the Bill of Rights. It's still a law of the land. And we got that other part of the Bill of Rights that says, just because one of these rights isn't enumerated here doesn't mean you don't have them. You know what I mean? I got the right to loud pipes. I don't know, whatever the hell, man, on your bike. I got the right to loud pipes. It's in the Constitution. Since it's not forbidden for specifically by the Constitution, I got the right to loud pipes. So anyway, you know what I mean? I gotta do a story about this chick, man. She's one of them Hollywood. Well, anyway, I should, but anyway, it's pretty interesting. But anyway, life story, pretty cool. But the thing is, people are like too focused in on the negative. They create the situation. Here's the story. Now, I'll give you another story. It was about the guy with the hot dog stand. The guy had a hot dog stand by like the railroad track crossing. And, all the people that, when a train would stop, he'd be saying, hey, get your hot dogs, get your hot dogs, get your hot dogs. He'd be selling hot dogs, right? So he had to, he was making some money, and he wasn't doing bad. He wasn't really doing great, but he wanted his son to have more money, right? So what he did was he sent his son off to college. So the son comes back from college later on, and he comes back. Dad, you're selling hot dogs. The dad is like he's gonna get more ovens. He's gonna expand the business. He's gonna do all this and that and everything like that. But he was out there every day saying, "Yeah, get your hot dogs, get your hot dogs, get your hot dogs." Right? Well, you know what happened? The son convinced him that, hey, we got a depression going on. Look, here's the headlines. Here's the headlines. So you know what the dad did with the hot dog stand? He stopped going out there. He stopped freaking trying to pitch the sale for the hot dogs, which are quality and all this kind of stuff like that. There's GMO stuff and all this kind of garbage. Real oink oink food and stuff inside of them. But he stopped freaking working. He stopped having a positive attitude. He stopped freaking trying to strive. And you know what happened? His business went down. And he says, "Oh yeah, really? Yeah, we do have a depression. Look what happened." Yeah, I mean, you can make it happen. That's why I don't like these alternative media guys. What the hell, man? What are they trying to do? They're painting doom and gloom, and they can make anything happen. They work for the bad guys. I already figured it out. So, anyway, ride your freaking custom pink purple motorcycle with your tats, and don't worry about the shit. You know what I mean? So, anyway, this is what I got to say to, and she says it best right here. I say that to the elite, and I say that to the quote-unquote alternative media. Now, yeah, maybe I could be defined as alternative media, but I'm not freaking work for the elite. No way in hell. But I am pro-USA. Because, I've been around other countries. It's kind of joke-like, everybody thinks, like, we don't really, I mean, there's some cool shit about other countries, yeah. But, when it really comes down to it, man, we got a lot more rights over here than we do than there is in other countries. I would say maybe like some of the Scandinavian countries might have it pretty locked on, but then again, you freeze your ass off up there. You know what I mean? But a lot of other places, man, maybe it's really cool, but once you get wrapped up with the authorities, oh, forget it, man. I mean, I not me, but I know a lot of shit that happened to people. And, somebody steals a dump truck, crashes into a car, and they get one of the jarheads steals a dump truck, drunk, hot wires it, crashes into the car, and, when they get in jail over there, man, it's like jail, you know what I mean? It's not fun. It's not like this shit over here, man. I mean, not that it's fun over here, but you know what I mean? So a lot of times people are always painting the picture. Well, I don't like a lot of shit going on here because they got everybody in jail now for weed, We got more freaking people incarcerated per capita than any place in the whole freaking globe. But just looking at the thing over here with the freaking silver again, you remember what happened with, they're talking about $10 silver, $8 silver, $16.60 now, whatever the hell it is, or $16.50. Palladium is moving back up to 8,800. Now, here's the real interesting thing to me. Crude oil. Remember they were predicting $20 a barrel crude oil, $10 per barrel crude oil. Do you know that, like, Goldman Sachs is the number one freaking holder of double levers gold crude oil, what is it, UCO? They're the number one holder of it. Yeah, they were telling you other stuff before, right? Including the big banks. I forgot who the hell they were, but, you know why this went up, though, to 60? Because of that land invasion by Saudi into Yemen. Not like a major land invasion, but they've actually sent ground troops to get rid of those Shiite rebels or whatever the hell they are down there. So this is going to continue. And actually, I'm going to tell you, I think they're setting the deal up. I think they're setting the Saudis up, the Saudi family up. They're throwing them under the bus. Right now they're saying the U.S. is trying to reassure all its allies, that they're not doing this and that. I think they're setting them up. It's pretty damn obvious, man. And, well, that's the whole thing. I mean, they got all the oil freaking going right here in the USA and Canada. Australia's got the Okavango Basin. And the UK's got some bunch of oil they found south of London that's bigger than what's in the North Sea. Hey, drive the price up again. And guess who's not going to participate in the market anymore? A lot of people in the Middle East, because they'd be fighting each other, right? So stay dedicated to two wheels, like old girl here is on a tat, because, if you want to be free, you got to think outside the box. And I know it's like, a lot of people are screaming about, the sky's falling and shit, and I guess it is because the markets themselves have been propped up by Federal Reserve spending. They've been buying stuff. Actually, I want to comment a little bit more about that. I think I did on other videos, but maybe people keep asking me the same questions again. But the thing is with the markets, they've been going in there and they've been buying up, the equities, right? That's what's been holding them up. Now, how is it held on the Federal Reserve balance sheet at cost? Actually, it's when you actually hold on a balance sheet of something. I'll give you a tip on something here. When you hold on a balance sheet for something, I don't want to have Sarah Perlin here looking at us. When you're holding on a balance sheet for something, the thing is that it's held at cost, right? Say, for instance, you buy some land, it's at cost, and say the market goes up 10 times, it's still held at cost. Well, in the case of the Federal Reserve, they bought these equities at exorbitantly high prices. Now, for instance, say you bought some land and it cost you, $100,000, and the value of the land went down to $10,000, right? In that case, you should really adjust it down. See, normally everything's held at cost because the markets are always going up due to inflation, in the long term, and you don't make adjustments over little nitpicky things. It's like if it's something that's radically different. But if the Fed deliberately bought a bunch of stocks, they'll shore up the markets, and you see the markets have went up more than double since 2009 to shore them up. They're holding a bunch of garbage on their balance sheet. As a matter of fact, the Fed is leveraged 77 to 1. You know what's going to happen? When we have a major financial crisis, the Fed ain't going to be able to bail them out. You know what's going to be the bailout? IMF. You know why? Because they're leveraged 3 to 1. And that's another step towards world government. Anyway, screw world government, man. Screw the corporations, screw the world government, screw pharmaceuticals and all this other freaking. And screw all religious yo-yos of any denomination or whatever the hell they call themselves, because I don't like any radical religious people. I don't care what the hell they call themselves. So anyway, I just want to give you this quick update. What's going on? Saudi is, doing some, not like a major land massive attack, but they're actually got troops on the ground in Yemen. So oil went up. And then consumer confidence is like really, really bad, the worst it's been in years, which consumer spending is 68% of the U.S. economy or the GDP. So that's bad. But they've been pointing out this stuff about the markets for a while now. And yeah, I'm going to remind people, if George Soros is going to lose the rest of his huge bearish bet by the end of this year, if the markets don't crash. And how big his huge bear? He already lost part of it. He didn't lose most of his bearish bet. But you know how much his bearish bet was for? 16% of his net wealth. That's not a hedge. That's not a hedge. And I also said about Buffett, he's got mostly foreign cash now for the first time. It was over a year ago he had this. Mostly foreign cash versus U.S. dollars. They're patient. They're liars too, man. I know these guys. I know these types. I don't know them, but I know the way they play the game. They play, they make it look like they're real approachable and nice and shit. Yeah, right. Get the hell out of here. Actually, I'm a barracuda, but I don't want to work for those guys. I don't want to be with them. Yeah. But I actually got to fight two fronts because a lot of people think I got to wake up, and I'm like, get the hell out of here, man. You're freaking about 500 steps ahead of you. So many people telling me I got to wake up. I already know the USA still got the best system. Don't be down in the dumps on this shit, man. Roll up your sleeves and fix it, man. It's like having an old classic car that needs some damn work, and you're bitching about it, and you want a replacement, so you want to get an electronic piece of shit, right? It's like you're looking at this car right now. It's all pretty, but say it had a bunch of rust holes in it, needed a new top, and the engine needed to be rebuilt. You'd be like, it's impossible. Just fix it, damn it. One piece at a time. A lot of shit I've done that I've never done before. That's how I freaking learned it. Just tried it. You know what I mean? That's the same way. That's the same attitude you got to have with America. We already got all the essentials here. We got all the right stuff. We got the '59 Cadillac convertible in our DNA. You know what I mean? It's just that we got to pound out some dents, fix some rust, get a new top on it, interior, transmission, differential, front end parts, brakes. I don't know, wiring, glass, steering wheel cracks, whatever, dashboard cracks. The head's got to be redone, and these new pistons, and these new bearings, whatever. But we can still do it, okay? That's one way of putting it, all right? You got to roll up your sleeves. We got all the essentials right here in the good old USA, man. And, I'm not waving a flag here. You get it? You get it? I realize the other places don't. They got bullshit going on, man. We got they other places, they work off the whims of a dictator, basically. You don't want to go there, man. You're serious.